Ugh. Can you pass me the sparkling water?
If you want it, use the voice.
Give me the water.
Almost.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hell Money Podcast. As always, my name is Casey Rodamor, and I'm here with your lovely co-host, Erin. Boop. We are filming from an undisclosed location on the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. We are raising a Fremen army where we are going to conquest the universe with our shitty 13-character ticker symbols.
Always have been.
Yep.
Are you going to wear the mask the whole episode?
No, I'm going to ditch the mask. The mask is done.
The mask is done. Welcome. I mean, this is kind of an obvious costume for us to do.
Yeah, Rune.
You're just going to leave that discarded in the line of sight after all the work we put into
I know, the amazing
create a
set
beautiful
design.
podcast.
Yeah. Runes. We did a previous Runes episode. Now we're doing another Runes episode.
Yeah, this is the second Runes episode. So we did Rune 2. Dune 2.
This is Runes 2. Runes Part 2.
Yeah, right,
Yep.
Exactly. We're answering some audience questions.
So the last Runes episode, Runes, I think we recorded it before launch or after launch?
Before. No, we recorded it before. We recorded it, I want to say on the 16th or 17th of May.
Mm-hmm.
And then the actual launch was the 420 or 419. So we made some like predictions ahead of time. But I don't even remember what we predicted. Oh, I said there's going to be a reorg. Oh no, we predicted the fees on the halving block. And I think I was closer than you were.
Well, we'll have to go to the tapes for that.
No, I was because I think I predicted 3,000 sats per V-byte.
Mm-hmm.
And the top block was like, the average was like 2,800.
All right. Okay. You won. What did we put on the line?
Lunch.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm pretty sure is already,
I have to buy you lunch.
I think it's already happened.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I'm a gentleman, so I automatically, do these things.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I feel like the Runes launch was, to be honest, it was about as boring as I kind of thought it would be.
Yeah, no bugs. I'm exceedingly happy. We had 0 bugs. I mean, we did have one bug where, which is really unfortunate, which is that Bitcoin Core, in order to save you from yourself, will prevent you from broadcasting a transaction that has too high of a fee. I believe it won't let you pay more than 0.1 BTC as a fee for a transaction. And so some people got bit with that, where their node would refuse to broadcast the transaction. Yeah, on like right before the block. It was like the worst possible kind of bug, but no protocol bugs, which is what I was really worried about.
It was a bug in Bitcoin. You broke Bitcoin.
It's not a bug in Bitcoin. That's a feature in Bitcoin. But yeah, we broke Bitcoin. Finally,
Bitcoin,
we did
bro.
it.
We finally did it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Runes is out there. I was pretty much expecting that like we'd pretty much instantly go into the trough of disillusionment.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
also, I think anytime that anything is so hyped, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, it's going to live up to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, for what? Like, it's like
right after launch is the worst point ever. Because it's like there's no tools. The tools are as bad as they're ever going to be. Nobody supports it. We need to get these big centralized shitcoin exchanges all pumping Runes.
Binance is tweeting about Runes every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they're just like engagement farming about Runes, but I don't think they've listed any Runes yet.
I wonder if they're essentially engagement farming. So the way that a lot of centralized exchanges work is that they're pay for play. Is that if you want your token listed, you and your like insiders and your bag holders have to pay the exchange to list your token.
So they're just trying to bait someone into paying to...
Trying to bait Rune's bag holders into paying them some listing fee. Yeah, there's that, you know?
So we'll see,
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's like Casey's got some fun transactions going in the background.
Yep, I'm currently torching like 1 Bitcoin, inscribing the Fun collection.
It's like an offering to the gods.
It's an offering to the gods. That's right.
Yeah.
Where gods are the miners.
Yeah.
It is a very exciting photography collection by my dear friend Parker Day, who is a very talented photographer. I think it will probably be the most expensive to produce in terms of the cost of the actual content.
Mm-hmm.
It was all shot on film, no Photoshop, 100 models.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them. Parker's one of them.
Yep.
Her talented hairdresser and assistant. They are also in the collection.
I'm not one of them.
No, she's not.
Yep.
Yep. But probably the most expensive to produce collection, and also probably one of the most expensive to inscribe overall.
That would be the thing you focus on since you were the one who paid for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think it's going to cost, I think it's something like 20 full blocks of inscriptions, all told. Yeah.
But they look crazy.
They look great. They're
how
awesome.
many have been inscribed so far?
About 600.
Out of 1,000?
Out of 1,000.
Okay,
yep.
so we're like more than halfway through.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen them all, and they're crazy.
Yeah, they're
like,
really
they're
good.
so fun.
Yeah.
But so I guess it is like a way for you to express your Satanism.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any like furry bestiality? I mean, there are like
There's the dog guy.
right.
Yep.
And the
There's
camel guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he is pretty sexy.
The
not
camel
gonna
guy
lie.
it's weird. The camel guy is sexy.
He's
and
hot.
It's
Yeah,
just like,
it's because he's got like an Elvis thing going on. He looks like Austin Butler playing Elvis with those like lips.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
those lips also featured in Dune 2 very prominently. The guy,
The camel guy was in Dune 2.
no, well, Austin Butler was in Dune 2.
Who's Austin Butler?
Austin Butler is who played Elvis in the Baz Luhrmann Elvis film,
Oh, and he played.
the
Bane
cousin or
Rutha
whatever.
or whatever.
Sid Rotha.
Sid Rotha.
Right? Is that
Yeah.
his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, the guy. I mean, yeah, the bald guy with the big ass lips.
Yeah.
So he does kind of look like the camel.
Right. Yeah.
Like, anyway, that's a hot model. Excellent nod to the furry community as always.
Yep. No idea when we're actually gonna put them out there, put them on sale. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Been milling around a couple options.
Yep.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure we'll have Parker on the pod to talk about like the actual art more. Parker's great. Also, I mean, I just kind of met her for the first time throughout this, so it's been nice to.
She's a lovely and talented individual.
Yeah, great artist.
Yep.
It's lovely to see great artists coming to Ordinals. Love to see it. I think it's also funny, like that. You know, she's known you for so long, and then now she's kind of like getting into this Ordinals thing, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, like what's it like working with Rodamor?" And she's like,
He's just this guy, you know.
Very true.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of questions.
There's a lot of questions. I asked for questions on Twitter.
But before we get into the questions, I'll just say 2 comments.
Okay.
Which is like why runes. One big reason for me is just so that a decent token standard exists, so that people can experiment with it. And 99.99% of those experiments will be worthless, but I think it is useful to have a good protocol just sitting around on the shelf so that people can try it out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see runes like decimate all the other token protocols. Like,
Absolutely.
And I don't even mean that as an attack on the token protocols like that exist on Bitcoin. I mean, like just generally speaking.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's not even because I think runes is like that great. It's more just like I think it's more honest about what it is.
Yep.
And it's simple. And yeah, I don't know. It has a better name.
Yep.
So yeah, and it whatever. I mean, you know, I think it's nice that I think it got like tested to its limits very quickly. And as you said, kind of no bugs so far. So
No
that's,
bugs.
you know,
Yep.
great.
And I also think that there was people did do transactions on purpose to try to exploit bugs. So there was a bug that we fixed before launch where if you had a transaction that only had op return outputs and it used this split functionality to divide the input runes between the non-op return outputs, it could trigger divide by 0. So this was something that we found before the protocol launched, and then the protocol launched, and then somebody exploited this, and it crashed a bunch of ord nodes running the old version of the software. But this is kind of a good sign. It means that somebody was paying attention, somebody was trying to exercise the code. You know, I would much rather a bug be found now than later. Clearly.
Yeah, right. So, you know, I mean, I feel like we really don't even have that many exciting takes on the runes launch, to be honest.
No, it's just it's
What's
a
your
protocol.
life like now?
Definitely some postpartum depression.
Right.
You know, like you get a big project done and you got to like figure out the next thing to work on. And I got to like get the motivation up to like start really working on something else.
You could just
in
like hang
earnest.
out for a while.
No, that doesn't work for me. I'm like a shark, you know, got to swim or I die. But funnily enough, I realized that maybe my biggest contribution to Bitcoin will be launching this fungible and non-fungible token protocols and then not adding features which add harmful MEV.
Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, totally. So on Ethereum, there are decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. And Uniswap, transactions get executed in any order. When you submit a order to the Uniswap DEX, you are not saying, I want it to be the very next transaction to be included. You are saying, okay, I want to go in as soon as possible, and there can be any number of transactions before me and any number of transactions after me, and still please execute my transactions. So what this allows miners to do is they can mine, let's say you're buying 100 foo tokens. The miner can buy a bunch of foo tokens beforehand, then get your order, which drives the price up, and then sell foo tokens. So they get this guaranteed profit in one block where they sandwich your transaction with these two other transactions that they've created. So this is incredibly lucrative. I mean, on the order of, millions and millions of dollars per block. I think, don't quote me, but it's, I think in excess of the Ethereum block reward. So this means that Ethereum miners, they can no longer just plug in off-the-shelf hardware and start mining or validating or whatever. They have to do this additional sort of capital expenditure. They have to be sophisticated in order to get this extra profit. And the miners that do this will outcompete the validators that do this, will outcompete the validators that do not do this. So all validators on Ethereum do this. They don't do it directly, but they do it through this service called Flashbots. And this is a form of harmful centralization. We want Bitcoin miners to be able to get off-the-shelf hardware, plug it in, and then just compete on the basis of their ability to get cheap power. We want that really to be the only thing that they're competing on. And if MEV existed on Bitcoin, then that would not be the case. Miners would essentially be, if you just plugged in a miner and ran it, you would be running at a loss because you would not be getting this revenue stream that all these other miners were getting, right? The difficulty would increase. Usually, currently the difficulty only increases based on the block reward and the amount of fees, but there would be this additional revenue source that some miners would be taking. They would be providing hash power much more cheaply. They'd be providing much more hash power, and you would be then losing money. So we don't want this on Bitcoin because it centralizes miners. So there have been various proposals to add MEV. I mean, not proposals to add MEV, but for example, proposals to add DEX-like functionality to runes, which I will never merge. I will never merge.
Heard it here.
Yep. I will actively tell everybody that they're a bad, stupid idea. And I think protocols are pretty hard to fork. I think even if people want this, they would have to want it really, really bad in order to actually get this new shitty version of runes with MEV to be the most popular one.
I mean, as far as I know, that's not really been a push. I don't know, has it?
No, there's been no push. There's just been people opening GitHub issues and whatever. But I know that all the other fungible token protocols are actively trying to add things that would introduce MEV. So for example, BRC20, the BRC20 guys are working on sort of an Ethereum compatible execution layer where you can publish your smart contracts in an inscription and then run them, and they have access to your BRC20 tokens. There's MotoSwap, which I think is turbo MEV. So hopefully runes can just outcompete them by being a better protocol, and then we don't get a popular fungible token protocol on Bitcoin that introduces MEV.
Does runes create less fees on Bitcoin overall than something like BRC20?
Hard to say. Runes is more efficient, which means that for the same activity, you pay less fees using runes than BRC20. However, it can be the case that if fees are lower, that encourages there to be more activity. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference in fee contribution is.
But just comparing to another token standard, right? Your instance where you say, okay, well, there's lower fees, so there's more activity, doesn't that apply to anything that one would want to do in a Bitcoin transaction?
Sure, yeah.
Just comparing the efficiency of runes versus a different token standard for fees, rather than just something happening for fees versus not happening for fees. Does that question make sense?
I think it does. I still think it's a valid metric. Imagine that there's a bunch of transactions that people are willing to do at 10 sats per, or at 1,000 sats per transaction, right? If BRC20 is less efficient and they would have to pay 2,000 sats per transaction. That activity just doesn't happen.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
so it kind of neutralizes itself.
It's unknown. It's
right.
really hard
It's
to
not
say.
really like a clear-cut answer.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Should we go through questions? Do you have something else you want to say?
No, let's do the questions.
Okay.
Let's go.
First question from Rindal. Can we just scrap all the current runes and start over with better names?
I fucking wish, bro. These names are fucking trash. I've not seen a single good one. They're all.
Oh, stop.
I mean, Wonko Monko is good, right?
It's like
but
constellation.
it's also Wonko Monko Rune, which is pretty bad, right?
Yeah,
it
actually,
should just be Wonko Monko.
When does Wonko Monko's 10, right?
Yeah.
So when does 10 unlock? That's like
8 months, maybe.
Yeah,
Guys.
guys.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get wrecked.
You guys are
by the
gonna get
real
wrecked.
Wonko Monko Rune.
The true Wonko Monko. I mean, that one could have better like issuance too, right?
Oh yeah. You guys have to stop doing pre-mines. Like, don't do pre-mines. They're so fucking lame. You shouldn't mint pre-mine tokens. It's fucking stupid. Like somebody who makes a rune doesn't deserve any money. They should fucking pay the transaction fee and then just fucking mint it like everybody else. And if you believe in your rune, you should be willing to mint it. Like, come on, guys.
I understand why it's tempting.
I do wonder. This is getting into a future question, which is like any regrets. I wonder if maybe I should have made it so that you can pre-mine a rune or make it an open mint, but not both.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Yeah, because why would you
pre-mine
want in between, really? I mean, because I can see why you would want to 100% pre-mine,
Yep.
right? And then you airdrop it, or you just have it for yourself, or whatever.
For the infinite utility that you get by just holding 100% of the supply of a rune.
Exactly, the classic case. Right?
Yeah.
Well, but like, I could see why like one would want to like pre-mine something and then decide how they want to use it, right? But yeah, like the pre-mine of like 15% or 10% or whatever, it's just like you see that. Also, when you go to ordinals.com and you see that, it's just like,
Yeah, what are you doing, guys? Come on.
yeah, whatever. I mean, it takes time. We're
For
still
the
in.
mores of the community to be worked out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Oh, a lot of people asked about the turbo mode.
Yeah,
What's up
so-
with the turbo flag? Because it shows up on every, if you go to Mint with any various services that exist now, you can check the turbo flag.
Yep.
So people are wondering what's up with that.
So the turbo flag was originally introduced because we had some ideas for features pre-launch that you might want or you might not want. There would be reasons for not wanting them. For example, they might increase validation costs for clients. So instead of launching these features later, and all the old runes don't get to take advantage of them, we thought, okay, we'll just add this flag, the turbo flag, which can be set when etching a rune, which says I'm opting into any future features, no matter how bad of an idea they are.
It's like the degen flag.
It's the degen flag. The main feature that I was thinking of was some kind of lottery, some kind of bi-weekly like lottery. However, I now think that lottery would probably introduce MEV, where miners would like try to reorg the chain every time a lottery ended to try to get themselves a winning ticket. And I thought that's probably not a good idea. I probably don't want to go there for some like super degenerate thing like a lottery. So there are no features planned for the turbo flag.
But you never know.
One feature maybe that's planned for no, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no features planned for the turbo flag.
I like that. I feel like people always are like, oh man, like, Casey must be planning something. Like, what is Casey planning? What is he talking about behind the scenes that he's doing? And I'm like, he just says it.
Yeah.
Like you
can
just
just
say
ask
it.
me.
And then you usually just like think about it for like a week or two, and then you're like, never mind, I'm not going to do
In many
that.
such cases.
Like 10 hard-coded runes, lottery, gambling in the protocol.
That's the lottery.
What's wrong? Oh, that's lottery.
Yeah.
So the gambling. But I thought there was one where, didn't you want to do one where you can just like,
Flip a coin.
yeah.
Yeah. That too. That's massive MEV. That's crazy MEV.
So you're not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, well, if you want to fork runes.
If you want to fork runes and add a bunch of bullshit, you'll never get any traction. Good luck with that.
I'll just etch all the runes on the new fork.
Yeah, that's right.
Pre-mine 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess the next question was from Nakib. If you plan to upgrade runes, or is this the final form? Kind of answered that.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. Don't mean to disappoint people, but I think that any additional functionality for runes is going to have to come at a higher layer of the chain.
What about Chinese character mapping?
I don't think that's a good idea. I think they just need to get good. And it's like, listen, it's the characters A through Z. Like, it's not that bad. It's going to get easier. We're going to have shorter and shorter names. And it's also really great for it not being confusing, right? Like, if you have a rune name, there's no ambiguity of, are there ones, are there L's, are there uppercase characters, are there lowercase characters, are there numbers, are there weird Unicode symbols? Is it a Turkish dotless uppercase I? So yeah, there's no benefit to having a bunch of characters. So sorry to the Asian degens. You guys are just going to have to get good at English, which is not too hard.
It's just a letdown. This is a letdown episode.
Yeah,
Everything
letdown
is
episode.
just like
yeah, this episode's going to be a big bummer.
I don't know. I mean, you could come up with some weird upgrade at some point, but I kind of don't. What upgrade? That's the thing.
I mean, people really want DeFi. That's what people want. People want.
What do they mean? They want a DEX?
They want a DEX. That's what they want. But I think building a good DEX on Bitcoin is like an open research problem, right? It's like,
what do you mean?
I mean, it's an open area of inquiry, and it's a very hard problem. So me, the humble, shitcoin protocol author, I don't have any insight on that. Like, I know a little bit about some of the designs, but I'm not going to like innovate on that. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, but like a year ago, you would have not come up with a shitcoin protocol, and here you are.
Yeah, but the shitcoin protocol is easy. Like, Runes is simple. Runes
That's true.
is real simple.
Runes is very simple. A caveman could do it.
A caveman,
and he
could
did.
Yeah. They Photoshop out my prominent brow ridge for these episodes.
Yeah, we're just like yassifying the fuck out of this. That Wag Me Girl asks, how do you feel about building runes? Did it meet your expectations in terms of how the community memes, name tickers, etc.?
No, I mean
that's no secret.
No secret. Yeah, I mean, I think the memes are pretty weak, guys. I keep saying that. I think the memes are weak. But again, you can't just have good memes on command. It really takes a bunch of like degenerate, like 19-year-olds in a Discord, years of cooking, until they're like 26 before they start having some really good memes. Like, memes are a product of the broader culture.
Yeah.
And so it's not something you can rush.
I mean, I'm trying to think what are memes that I like that have existed in tickers. Like, I don't even know. I mean, I kind of like the like Joe Bowden, like kind of, but like, yeah.
Yeah. When are we getting Joe Bowden? JoeBoden.
Not for a while. I mean, I feel like a meme has to like appeal to people outside of just like the little bubble that you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to have like that.
Yeah. And runes are the ultimate like bubble circle circular economy.
That said, I mean, I feel like Wonko Monko does really, it resonates.
It resonates.
Actually, I mean, this isn't in here, but are you a furry?
No, I'm not a furry.
Are you sure?
I've never been tempted to be a furry ever.
It's okay if you are.
No, it's fine. I respect the furries. I'm just not a furry at all. I don't want to be a furry animal.
Then why have you done this?
I wrote a funny story. People need to not read into this funny story that I wrote like 8 years ago and then never thought about again.
And there's also, I mean, there's more interesting stuff on Rodamor.com.
Oh yeah, there's tons.
I actually think, like, I mean, I've said this to you before, but I'm pretty sure you're one of the most like doxed, documented people on the internet.
Yeah.
In the sense of like,
people really spreading those cheeks and getting in there.
But they're not. Like, there is more on Rodamor.com that I think is funny and interesting that for some reason people have not.
Okay. So
I don't think they mind the depths.
No.
I mean, Wonko Monka, like when we started the podcast, I remember this was, I mean, a long time ago now. This was like actually like 2 years ago. Literally 2 years, 2 years of How Many Podcasts? May, I think last year was our first episode. When we started the podcast, I remember really grilling you, like, to just be like, okay, what does this guy have? Like,
yeah, she was like, am I going to get me too'd? Am I going to be
Me
associated with
Too'd?
this guy who's going to get me too'd? It's going to be Rodamor Island. He's diddling little boys or whatever.
Dogs.
Little dogs, even worse.
But I remember when I was like grilling you about that, like, you brought up Wonko Monko. Like you were like, well, I do have this story on Rodamor.com, but it wasn't.
People told me to remove it. People would like DM me months and months ago when like inscriptions were getting popular. People would DM me like a screenshot and be like, bro, I think you need to take this down. Like for the community, you need to take this down.
But you have no shame.
No, of course not.
But like generally speaking, you have no shame.
No. Why would I? I don't do anything wrong.
I don't do anything wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think like, but Wonko Monko, I mean that to say like there is other stuff on Rodamor.com that I think is like funny or interesting or weird, but Wonko Monko is kind of a standout for sure.
Yeah, Wonko Monko is very funny.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what I meant by it's a standout. It's thought provoking.
I mean, what other fiction is there? There's like my declarative programming.
Yeah, no one's really talking about.
There's the Holocaust one.
What's the Holocaust one?
It's about these audio tapes, which are like recovered from the Holocaust, which is like a post-Holocaust, this like Holocaust survivor describing how he got through the camps because he started hallucinating music.
That's not real. You wrote that. It's a fiction story.
Yeah.
What is that one called?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
that's.
You can click the fiction tag.
Yeah. Well, I remember because I feel like maybe I'm thinking of like photos. I don't know. I mean, just do your digging. I feel like there's weird stuff in there that you guys could work with. But again, it's still in-group signaling.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that's not like a meme that people are going to
It's not going to escape containment.
Although, that being said, I mean, being in Hong Kong, I was like, oh my God, Casey's like a little celebrity now.
It was wild, man. I took a lot of selfies. There was a lot of Asian girl face filter collateral damage on the selfies that were taken. Like, there'd be like, I can't get over the Asian girl face filters.
I think you look good with it.
They're just like obliterating. It's like bizarre to me. It's like,
but it just smooth. It makes you smooth. And it makes you look like a baby.
It does more than smooth.
Yeah, it smooths really, and then it like
and my eyes get bigger. My teeth get super white.
I think you look good. I love those selfies. Like I think we should start filming with that filter on.
Okay, we can do an episode.
We could maybe do an episode with that filter. The mics might be like a problem because it might get in the way of the.
No, I think the Asian girl face filter technologies is advanced.
It's extremely advanced.
Extremely advanced. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny being in Hong Kong, just seeing how much. I mean, okay, what would happen is like you would get swamped by a bunch of people trying to get selfies with you, and then I would be like off to the side with someone else, like just chatting, and they'd always be like, "Oh my God, like he must hate this," and then like I look over at you, and you're like.
I don't mind the selfies at all. I don't mind the selfies. I think it's fun.
Yeah, you like it. I think it's like it's funny because most I mean, it's a nice thing that you enjoy it because most devs are very like they don't enjoy that type of shit.
Think it's cute,
I mean, you're a ham. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Like even because you posted the Rodador video when we're in Hong Kong, and I watched it, and I was like, damn, this guy's been a ham forever. But I keep telling you every day, I'm like, you're so humble. You're so like, wow, Casey, you're just so great and you're so humble. And I realize I have to stop doing that because it's going to make you not humble. It's going to destroy
my ego.
Yeah. But do you think you have a big ego?
Not really.
I don't think so. I think you would at this point if you were going to.
I think so.
But why don't you?
I don't know. I'm just this guy. I'm just programming, just
you're
doing my best.
Having fun on the computer.
Having fun on the computer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's more that you're performative. I think that's what it is. It's like, like people take selfies and it's like you're kind of just like, okay, I'm doing a little soy boy face, soy face at the...
I have like 6 retarded faces for selfies that I cycle between.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we could teach you to smize, but I feel like it does retain charm that you do soy face in like every selfie pretty much.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, pretty fucking crazy being in Asia. I mean, I know I say that every time that we do something in Asia, but it's just, I'm like, my mind is blown.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm there.
Yeah.
It's just so different. It's so much, the ecosystem is so much bigger there.
Although we are going to Consensus next week, which should be a big ass shitcoining fest.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm curious to see, like the difference between being in Hong Kong where like literally you would get stopped on the elevator like up, not even like in a conference or something. Like we would be like at our hotel and someone would like get in the elevator to like talk to you or like, I don't know. Just, I feel like that's not really going to happen at Consensus, but who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, you're on the Runes tour right now. Like we went to Hong Kong and then Consensus, you'll be in Nashville.
Yep.
And then who knows? Maybe at some point you'll get burnt out by it. I don't know.
Yep.
But for now,
now
we just ride it out. For now, enjoy the 15 minutes of fame.
Absolutely.
I like it because I like to be like next to it, but not the focus.
Yeah.
I mean, I like being the focus generally speaking. Like I do like attention, but it's nice to not, it's more like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like the only people who come up to me, I feel like are Hell Money Pod fans. Like they're not really like,
Yeah.
just
They're the deep fans, you know?
yeah, exactly. Like they know the lore a little bit more, you know, as opposed to just being like, oh, it's Casey Rodamor. Like, oh my God.
Yep.
So it's nice for me. I enjoy it. As long as you enjoy it, I enjoy it. And then even if you didn't enjoy it, I'd probably still enjoy it a little bit. Next question, ordinalOS, long grain or short grain?
Short grain, 100%.
What is long grain rice?
Long grain is like basmati, like the longer grains.
Oh, I think I'm long grain.
Really?
Short grain is like just sushi rice?
Sushi rice, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the short grain because it's a little bit moister. It's a little bit chewier. I like to make it with a little bit less water than recommended, so it's really nice and like al dente.
But then I feel like that's sort of just the properties of a long grain rice, no?
And the long grain is kind of drier. It's less chewy. It's more starchy.
Yeah, I like Indian restaurant buffet rice. That's like my favorite.
Yeah, that's
which is
basmati.
long. Yeah. Okay. Well,
All right,
agree to
we'll
disagree.
fight to the death. Long grain or short grain? Good rune taker right there.
So true. Frenzy Stoned. When seppuku. That's what they want to know.
I think we film it right after this episode. This is going to be the last media aside from my suicide video.
Yeah, I just said you were going to Consensus. I just said you were going to Nashville, but no.
I'm going to kill myself
I'm going
beforehand.
to decapitate you after this.
That's right.
You're going to disembowel yourself and then I'll decapitate you.
Yep.
And we'll record it.
Yep.
Like a nice
I had a good
video.
run. You know, I'm pretty happy with everything.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's so good in a lot of ways that like Satoshi is gone, right?
Right.
So
really, you know, we need to get rid of me ASAP so the legend of Rodamor can begin to grow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, like you say you're going to kill yourself like every other day.
Yeah, true.
Like you're like, yeah. So I feel like in regards to seppuku, it's like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep.
AbdullahArifNFT asked, will it ever be possible for runes to interact and work alongside other blockchain networks and token standards in the future?
I think this is just to the, like, runes will be able to do this more or less to the same extent that Bitcoin will be able to do this. Like, everybody tries to bridge Bitcoin to other networks, try to bridge Bitcoin to L2s. So I think with, you know, some amount of success sometimes. So I think it's pretty much like the same deal. Like when people get really good at bridging Bitcoin, they'll probably mostly be able to bridge runes to L2s, to other chains, etc.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you and I keep having this conversation of runes on the Lightning Network. Is that still a question mark?
I'm trying to figure this out. Some people have told me that you can't do it, but I've asked them like why specifically, and I haven't gotten an actual answer. So I'm like, I think you can do runes on the Lightning Network. Obviously, it takes some modification of software, the same way that Lightning Labs is modifying LND to support Taproot assets, but I certainly don't see why you couldn't do runes on the Lightning Network.
Yeah, I guess my understanding is like, okay, so there's the Lightning Network that is for Bitcoin, and then a lot of people are working on the Lightning Network for stable coins, which is separate from the Lightning Network for Bitcoin, right?
That's really the Taproot assets Lightning Network.
Right, but like I guess those things are as currently being developed separate, right? Like you don't get to participate in the Bitcoin Lightning Network if you're doing like the Taproot assets.
Not automatically,
stablecoin Lightning
although
Network.
the implementation that Lightning Labs has talked about is letting you open. Here's the big cloud of the normal Bitcoin Lightning Network, being able to open like a Taproot assets channel on the outside of it. And so being able to, for example, pay in a stable coin, it gets converted at this node, routes around the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and then somebody gets paid in sats on the other end. And they just have a normal Lightning Network channel.
And you could do that with runes too, in theory.
Yep.
So it's the same. I mean, I guess that was the point I was trying to make.
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear specifically.
Yeah, haters, please give a detailed response this time.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Where are we? 0x. What is 0x? Everyone has their 0x thing.
0x 6 paths.
No,
I don't know.
I
think it's like a hex. When you have a hex string, a lot of the time you put 0x before the hex string.
Oh, so it's just, but it's
like
not
an Ethereum address.
Okay, because I assumed it was like an ETH thing or like a crypto
I think
thing.
it's kind of like an ETH crypto thing.
Okay, so 0x 6 paths. How would you describe your feelings for the beginning phase of runes in comparison to ordinals? What would you want the community to look deeper into runes wise?
I mean, I think the big difference is just like the way that it got adopted. Ordinals had zero hype before it launched, and then it launched and immediately got a lot of hype. So there was no like the trough of disillusionment took a lot longer to reach with inscriptions. It took like a few months before we got to inscriptions are dead, whereas we like speed ran that and we got to runes is dead like right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess like I feel more on like a personal side. Ordinals was just so surprising. Like every day felt like, oh my God, something new was happening. That was just.
I've never had an, oh my God, this is happening thing feeling with runes yet.
But I think there's nothing really that would feel like that for runes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's because I think most of those things happened with ordinals. Not to say like, I don't know. I guess there could be some level of like, inscriptions sold for a crazy price that would make me feel insane, or mainstream whoever talking about it that would make me feel insane.
The Trump rune, when we have the Trump rune, I'll be like, oh my God, like this is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Like if Trump does it, because Trump already did ordinals.
Yep.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like Trump already did ordinals. Of course, he's gonna do a fucking rune.
Yep.
I think maybe if Mr. Beast did something on ordinals, that would be like a moment. But again, it's like I don't think that's gonna happen for runes. Like
I don't think why would Mr. Beast do anything with runes? Please don't do anything with runes.
That's
Mr.
what I'm
Beast.
saying. Like
it's too pure.
I know that's my point. Is like I don't think that there's anything really.
You're
with
gonna lock
runes.
people in a room and then give them runes at the end. What a fucking bummer! I'd leave like at 15 minutes.
You would leave, but then you wouldn't be the winner.
That's right.
You'd be like one of the first 500 people that leaves with $2,000.
I'm imagining a scenario where I'm the only one locked in the room, so I just leave after 15 minutes.
Oh, actually, that would be fun. Ordinals guy locked in a room for 100 days.
Yep.
What would you be locked in a room for 100 days for?
It'd have to be millions of dollars.
Yeah, it would have to be. No, I mean, I think like there's a calculation that makes it like if you could be locked in a room for 100 days for $500,000. I'm not saying you specifically, but like that's an incredible salary.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
know what
do
I mean?
it though.
Locked in just you locked in a room for 100 days. What about, there was the Mr. Beast video where the guy was in a house in a circle.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. I mean, really, it's just the massive, boring waste of time.
But it's not a waste of time because you get $500,000. That's my point.
Yeah, but
it's like compare that to serving a military service.
Yeah, but
you know,
my next best option is not doing a tour in Afghanistan.
Yours is. Yeah, I feel like if Mr. Beast did something on ordinals, that would feel like, oh my God, this is crazy. That's just because I'm a huge fan. I feel like if they talked about ordinals or if you went on Joe Rogan,
okay,
that would be like a moment where I'd be like, oh my God, like this is happening. And then I'd be jealous, but I'd be happy for you.
I'd probably make sure that you like flew, that we went there together so you could at least meet Joe Rogan.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I feel like if there was something like that, because I mean, the other thing is like, I feel like a lot of people look to like mainstream adoption and, or like by mainstream, I mean more like legacy things adopting it. Like they're like, oh my God, like X person who has kind of a legacy or mainstream appeal. Like that's what I would want to see on ordinals. I don't really like, literally my version of that is Mr. Beast.
I think a stablecoin, a really popular backed stablecoin on runes, that would be like a thing that I'd be like, oh shit.
A really popular, yeah. I
mean,
if
Tether dusted off, Tether on Bitcoin and turned it into a Tether rune, I think that'd be pretty legit.
Yeah, and I mean that could happen.
That could happen. Yep. I think that only definitely happens if we get like L2s, which enable people to do dexes, and then people probably want a stablecoin to like trade on those dexes, and there's significant volume, and so then there would be demand for Tether on runes.
I'm actually really surprised no one asked about L2s. I guess I asked for questions about runes, but I mean, I felt like in Hong Kong it was like everyone and their mother is building an L2. L2.
Yeah. I mean, my take on L2s right now is that like I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I think people put out a white paper and then they go like, oh, look at this white paper. This is so great. Like, isn't this amazing? And it's like, no, it's fucking nothing. Like you have to demonstrate that it works and then I'll be interested. There's like the burden of proof is on the person who like produces the white paper. Like that's just like basic research. Like it's putting like out like some paper on like battery technology and then saying like, oh look, this battery is going to like revolutionize the world. And it's like, yeah, like let's see it in production, like en masse before we, assume anything.
Yeah. We need a Rodador style video where you test it out and show that it works.
Send a payment.
Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, I talked to so many L2 people and I was very unconvinced by all of them, except there was one person we talked to that I was like, okay.
I mean, I think the spider chain guy.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name it, but.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we're saying good things about him. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work, but it seems like it's not
It's
a
like a
crazy
legitimate
design.
effort.
Yeah, it's a legitimate effort.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Bongo asks, runes are a month old. Is there anything you regret or would have done differently? Also, he loves you.
Thank you, Bongo. So the only thing that I think about sometimes is that edicts, which are the way that you transfer runes and also mint transactions, they contain in them a rune ID. And the rune ID is a combination of the block height and the transaction index of when the rune was mined. And sometimes I think that maybe it should just have the rune name.
Wait, explain that again.
That when you say I want to transfer some rune, you don't say I want to transfer Wonko Monko. You say I want to transfer the rune that was mined on block height 846,000 transaction 5. You say I want to transfer that rune. That's the way that you refer to runes
in the
within
runes
the
protocol.
Yeah. And this is more compact than rune names, and it also means that shorter rune names aren't more efficient to transfer than long rune names.
Sure.
It adds a bit of complexity. So sometimes I wonder, like, okay, well, is that worth it? Like, should I have made it just the rune name directly? But I don't think it matters. And I think
it's
fine.
I mean, the only people that really have to deal with that are people that are building a wallet, right?
Yeah. And I don't think it's something that's going to like bite me in the ass or mean that there's like less functionality. It's just like, maybe it makes the protocol a little bit more complicated for some space savings. And that's always a really dangerous trade-off. Like, a lot of the time you want to just make it as simple as possible. Mm-hmm. And okay, you don't save any space, but I'm kind of leaning towards that the way that it works now is the correct decision, but it's something that I wonder about.
You really have no other regrets?
Maybe making runes pre-mine or open mint,
yeah,
but not
right.
both. Maybe that.
Although it's like, I mean, who are you to say that they can't, right? Like,
I am absolutely the person who can say that they can. I am the decider. I decide. It's totally reasonable to be like, this is a bad idea. I'm not going to allow it in the protocol.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because then I feel like, I actually think it's true. Like, if there hadn't been that functionality, then the pre-mine aspect would have been a lot more straightforward.
Yep.
You know, like you could have literally just separated runes into pre-mine or open mint and then like degened.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And in that case, it's either like you can degen or you cannot degen in terms of like minting a rune, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't really know that, like, I mean, whatever, it's your place to do that. I don't really know if it makes sense for you to have done that. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, you know, something like, I mean, first of all, it would have been controversial, would be my guess.
I actually don't think it would be controversial. It'd be controversial to change it now, but I think some people would have complained, but they wouldn't have complained that loudly.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, like, you know, the unique ticker thing was very controversial. And I still think that was totally the right. Now no one complains about
Nobody
that.
complains. Like, it's such a huge advantage to be able to like see a ticker on Twitter, copy and paste it onto the mint bot, and then like press mint and like get that thing.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, I have to look up a 64 character hexadecimal like thing, and there are multiple of these hexadecimal things that have the same name.
Yeah, there's 20,000 Pepes, and you have to know the whatever long ass string.
I'm 100% convinced that unique tickers were the right decision.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how people deal with that on other chains or in other protocols. Like, how is that acceptable? I mean, I guess it's just like a learning curve that people adapt to, but it just seems so obvious that that is worse.
Yep. I agree. 100%.
And I mean, I think if there are people who still disagree with that, wait till the 4-letter tickers in 3 years or whatever.
Yeah. And also, like, I think people just don't understand how vast the space of ticker names is.
Yeah.
There's 26 one-character ticker names, and then 2-character ticker names, there's 26 times 26, 3 characters, 26 times 26 times 26. This grows enormously fast to the point that you have like 6-character, like 7-character ticker names. You're up to billions of tickers. And if you like don't get the exact ticker you want, just think of some slight variation on it, right? We're not going to run out of words.
Yeah, it's like how I'm like, why can't someone guess your seed phrase? How can someone come up with a good rune name? Yeah. Any other regrets? I don't know. I don't think so.
And maybe also part of that was the Sophon, the front running of BRC20 ticker names, where people could like see a ticker.
Oh, that people were afraid that like they
Yeah.
would have a ticker name and then
Yep.
it would get taken and then they can't have it.
But we completely solved that. We totally solved that.
I mean, you know, whatever. I know you're disappointed with the names. I don't know that there was any way around that. I just think you have high standards that you
I have
yourself couldn't even
extremely high
meet.
standards.
I mean, you only came up with one good name.
I came up with my names were better than the existing names.
You didn't have that many though.
Yeah, but they were better.
Like you had like 3 names, 4 names.
I could come up if I sat down and like really roughed it out.
We did. I feel like we sat down and we tried.
But it's also like diluting the uncommon goods, right? If people want to degen on like the Rune, they just go Rune 0 uncommon goods mash mint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we had 10, you know, OG runes, then maybe, you know, there'd be a little bit of market confusion over that.
Yeah, I guess like I think the concern that I had with unique names was, oh, someone's going to take my unique name that I like. But then when it actually came down to it, I don't really think that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there are names that if I really racked my brain was like wanted to get that maybe they're taken and I would be disappointed in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I got the one I wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
I think you've actually etched more runes than me.
I etched
2.
2?
You etched the sleepiest rune.
So I've etched 1 rune.
Oh, you hard coded the first one.
I hard-coded
Okay,
the
so we've
first one.
etched the same number.
Yep.
Guess which rune is mine?
Which one?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, figure it out.
Alpha.
Degens. It's a open mint. There's still much to mint.
It's misspelled.
It's just like a typo.
Yeah.
BluseeApps asked, we kind of talked about this already. Is there anyone still working on improving the protocol like what Domo's doing with BRC20?
I would say everybody who's
No.
building Bitcoin L2s and things on Bitcoin is working on
Right,
improving the
anything
protocol.
that's improving
Anything
Bitcoin.
that improves Bitcoin or lets you trade Bitcoin in new ways probably has applications for runes. So yeah, everybody's working on improving the protocol.
Love that.
Yep.
Easy answer.
Easy answer.
EliasLululu. If I remember right, Casey said there would be a way to make ordinal transactions private, not traceable. How would this work? And can you talk about privacy on Bitcoin in general?
I don't remember saying this. I'm sure maybe somebody can dig out some clip where I'm like, ordinals will be 100% private, blah, 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 blah.
I don't
blah.
think you said that.
Yeah, I don't think so. But no, yeah, runes and ordinals are super not private. Privacy on Bitcoin in general is pretty bad. The real privacy technology that we have is like not reusing addresses.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a pretty substantial privacy technology because, you know, on Ethereum, you can see everybody's history, you know, just trivially looking at their wallet.
I mean, maybe that's what they're referring to because I feel like one of the issues with ordinals is that everyone uses one address.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's very incentivized to only use one address because there's a lot of,
Like
you know, people do
airdrops.
airdrops and stuff. So it's like you kind of just want everything to be in one address so that you have everything there and you don't
Yep.
miss out on that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Is there a way around that?
I mean, the Ord wallet doesn't reuse addresses.
I mean, but like that more
Ship
like
has sailed.
social ecosystem factor.
No, I think people just want a single address. It's easy for the users.
I want to be able to, and I think I've said this to you before and I don't remember what your answer was, but I want to be able to like take my valuable inscriptions, my generational wealth of inscriptions. I want to be able to take my valuable inscriptions, put them somewhere more secure, but then have my less secure address that I use that I connect like my Xverse, right? That I like have on like a browser wallet that I connect to websites, have that be able to be connected to that address such that you could say, okay, this person is a holder of whatever
Right.
from that address.
I mean, one way
Can
you
you
could
put
do
that in the
that-
protocol? Can you do that?
one way you could do that is by publishing your XPub, which is like not recommended for privacy reasons, but
But I guess it's not really that I want it for privacy. It's more
Yeah.
security, right? It's that I want to be able to have some things in a more secure place than a browser wallet,
so you could
but
publish
still be connected.
So you could publish your XPub and then people could see all addresses derived from your XPub and be able to see that it was the same person.
But could you put it, but I mean more like on a protocol level.
That's not something that you would do in the protocol.
You would do it in what?
In
wallet?
wallets. Yeah, in wallets.
Yeah. And I guess they don't want to do that because they want you to just use your wallet,
Yep.
like their wallet.
Yep.
Okay, well, someone do it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to like put my inscriptions on like a hardware wallet or something, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't want to have them all just floating around.
You can put them on, you can use Sparrow with hardware wallet.
But then I can't then go and connect that to like
No.
Magic Eden or whatever, Gamma.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's what I want. Someone do that, please.
EliasLululu also asks, I would be curious about Casey's opinion on possible implementations of AI technology on chain and elaborate on it since he lately gave his opinion on decentralized AI on chain. So AI on the blockchain is the biggest scam, just the biggest, most moronic scam I have seen in crypto. So Bitcoin processes like 2 megs of data every 10 minutes. So AI takes gigabytes and gigabytes of data, computation requiring gigabytes and gigabytes of memory, and like very fast CPUs or GPUs. And so putting this on chain is just a complete non-starter. Like
I just think it's like tech words that people like to put together for marketing reasons.
Pretty much.
Like blockchain and AI are probably the 2 most like tech VC fundraising words. Literally any VC you go to, it's like blockchain and AI are our focuses. And then it's like someone's like, well, why don't we just put them both together?
And kiss.
Exactly. $1 billion.
It's never going to work. Okay. It's never, ever, ever, ever going to work.
I don't know what people mean when they say they want it either. Like
what they want is like to replace OpenAI with some decentralized private network. That means that one company is not in control. That's kind of what people want.
They just want.
There's some network of computers that like.
So they just want it to be open source.
No, not open source. They want to like run their computations on this network. They want to send their query off to like some network of nodes that somehow collaboratively produce a result and send it back to them. And they imagine that this would be somehow cheaper or more private than OpenAI. And guess what? It's more expensive and less private because you have to send your query out to all these nodes. So it's like strictly worse in every way.
But I guess then my question is like, does open source solve this? Where it's like if you can just run your own AI model or whatever.
It definitely helps. And I think that I do think that local AI will be more and more popular.
I want local AI because I am running up against the content violations all the time.
Me too. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Me too. Damn. For me, it's that Midjourney and ChatGPT don't like when you replicate someone's image anymore. Yeah. Like I need to make my
Kim Kardashian.
I literally need to make my Kardashian deepfakes. I'm a Kardashian deepfake artist. That's my work.
Artiste.
They don't let me do it because they're worried about Kim Kardashian getting mad at them. But I think I should be allowed.
Yep, I agree.
It's my right.
Yep. Your God-given right.
That's a God-given right.
Yep.
Elias also asked about the Rodador.
Oh yeah, the Rodador was this floppy.
Where's the Rodador now?
I threw it away.
What?
Yeah.
You threw it away?
Yeah.
How are you going to throw it away?
I mean, it's just this useless piece of plastic with this very delicate like electronics attached to it that is of dubious value.
Can you explain what the Rodador is?
The Rodador is a touch-sensitive musical instrument that I made.
How old were you?
Like 26 or 27 maybe. You can see a video of it on my YouTube or my Twitter. It's kind of ingenious, this weird touch-sensitive instrument that I did all this like manufacturing for. I learned how to like laser cut things and like experimented with silicone rubber and all this stuff.
You made a material.
I made a material. Yeah. This embedded conductive, sort of like this like conductive floppy material. And so each square is an octave and each finger is a note in that octave.
I like the Rodador because I feel like when I watch that video, it makes me think about just how many things you've done that like just flopped.
Yeah.
You know, until one hit. It's like inspirational, you know? It's like you really did just like believe. You were like, oh, this is like you said in the video, like this is probably what I'm going to be doing as a job.
Yeah, and then like a month later, I like fully abandoned it. I think that trying a lot of things and shit canning them is like the secret to my success.
Literally, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's good wisdom. I think like I watch that and I'm like, it encourages me to just try things and actually try to see it through, because even if it fails, whatever, you just move on to the next thing and then maybe at some point something succeeds.
Yep.
Do you feel more fulfilled now than you did before?
Before Runes?
Like before you did make something that succeeded?
Maybe like marginally more fulfilled, I guess. It is nice to go like, oh yeah, I changed the trajectory of Bitcoin forever. Like that's kind of cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's also, I think the joy more comes from creating the idea.
Absolutely. That's the most exciting and fun part, is the creation part.
Yeah. Justin Moore asked, do you think people should be able to use VPN?
Absolutely. Running your local racist AI and interacting with the internet over VPN is your God-given right.
You should be able to make Kardashian deepfakes on your VPN
Yeah.
and then spread them like they're real.
Yeah.
And then,
somehow take down the Iranian government.
I was going to say, like, if your legacy is that you like changed Bitcoin in some fundamental way with ordinals or runes or whatever, like mine should be that I changed like a celebrity's legacy by creating a really convincing deep fake
by releasing deepfakes of them.
I mean that could be I don't think I could really do that to the Kardashians. I think they spin everything. What I would like to see is like, I'd like to make a deep fake so convincing that they adopt it into their lore.
A rap beef.
Like, yeah, it becomes a part of their story.
Yeah.
And they don't even know where it came from. You know what I mean? But they just kind of roll with it. Like Muammar Gaddafi and Libya. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Gaddafi was just like, oh yeah, I did do that terrorist attack. Like, my kingdom is so powerful. And the West was like, yeah, he did do that. like I want to do that, but for deepfakes. So I guess I probably should use a VPN if I'm going to do that. Rune Degen number asks if you like snooze.
Yeah, I love snooze.
Yeah.
I got some snooze right here.
Yep. In the Inscription 0 snooze carrying case.
Yep.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
The degeneracy knows no bounds. I don't really understand the next question.
Can the Rune Mr. Yen Japanese businessman assist your seppuku? I believe that there is a Mr. Yen Japanese businessman Rune. No, he cannot, because he is a rune, and runes cannot either disembowel me or be my second.
And that's like me or Raf's job, I think.
That's right. It's
like
your
maybe
job.
if me or, well, originally it was Raf's job.
Right. He's not around right now.
Raf's no longer with us, so so now it's my job. So maybe if I get, something happens to me and I'm no longer able to do it right after this episode, then maybe someone else could step in. But who would be the next to step in?
Rundall.
That's literally exactly what I thought too.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Owl asked, okay, let's say that some deranged degens were planning on producing the first issue of the Wonko Monko manga, which shows the main character's origin story. In such a world, are there any manga issue plotline stories that either Casey or Erin think should absolutely be told in a subsequent issue? Okay, so they're working on the origin story. They're curious, like, what happens next after Wonko Monko? Yeah,
well, I would say that, really the Wonko Monko, it's unresolved how it ends. Either the love interest, she fucks her dog and it's like a terrible cautionary tale, or she doesn't fuck her dog and it's a tale of like trad wife chastity. And so I think that it should actually become a sort of comment on the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, where in fact we're in a superposition of she did fuck the dog and she didn't fuck the dog, and it's like an Inception style, reality split.
Schrodinger's dog.
Schrodinger's dog fucker. That's right. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's really good.
Thank you.
Okay, get working on that, degens. Jiurn asked if you have a twin.
No twins. No twins. No siblings.
I mean, you have major only child energy.
No cousins.
What?
No second cousins.
Bro, you're the last of your bloodline.
All this bullshit just concentrated into one person.
And then every inscription on the Bitcoin blockchain is your progeny. In a way.
In
a way, the Ord Father. Funko Crypto asks, what number of characters in the ticker do you think will produce the most creative names?
So I would say 8. I think that.
Why do you say 8?
I just think that 8 is short enough to be memorable, long enough to produce, to have some good names and witticisms in there.
Yeah, it's not just like sound, like Pepe.
Yep.
It's like a...
Yep. So I think like 6 to 8 is where, maybe like 8.
And that happens in like 2 years?
In like a year and a half.
A year and
maybe?
a half?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so we'll see where we're at.
Yep. This came with a video. It said, would you dance with this Wonko Monko, Casey? How hard would it be to resist the dog? Again, it would be easy for me to resist the dog because I'm not a dog fucker.
I'm not saying you're a dog fucker. It's just, I think like if you are a furry, if you tend in that direction, it's totally fine.
To be clear, okay, furries are not animal fuckers. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like there's
a
lot
of
space between
nor an animal fucker. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. liveartsaj asks, I believe that Rodamor will be reborn in another iteration after the seppuku. Do you believe that you'll be reborn in another iteration?
No, unfortunately not. I think this is it. I think we get one run and then that's it. Infinite darkness for eternity.
Yeah, I wonder, because you don't really have old soul energy at all.
Well, I don't really know how to feel about that. That's not really a nice thing to say to somebody.
No, it's not. No, because old soul can also, I mean, if you think about it from like the logic of a reincarnation perspective, an old soul is someone who like hasn't figured it out. Like an old soul is like doing this over and over and over again.
Maybe I just appear, do it, one and done, nirvana, and then
That's
I
what
just shuffle off this
like,
mortal coil.
I would say like young soul or new soul energy is, it's like they're bringing something that's a little bit more out of the box of like the normal balance of realities here.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe they just come here and do one thing and then they're out.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like you definitely have more of that energy than like I think I have more of like a, oh shit, she's on this cycle again. Like what's going on?
Back
like,
on her bullshit.
Back on her bullshit yet again. She will not learn. Like I feel like I feel more like I've done this before. I like will probably do this shit again. You don't really seem that way to me.
I don't want to come back again.
Well, no one does. That's the point, you know? But we have to like, you know, as characters in this sim, we have to kind of like play out the various dimensions of it. So we don't really
got a choice.
Well, we do, but not now. Like we're here, we have to do it. But like in the spirit realm, we're like, all right, fine. I'll do this time. Like put me in coach.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have more put me in coach energy of like just this is you're just here. You're
as Frank Sinatra said, when you live like me, once is enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see like as you get older, but I feel like you kind of to me seem like once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, let's hope.
There's so many more Wonko Monko questions.
Inuni makamasen. So you can't just put a question mark after a Japanese sentence. You need a question particle. So that's not a question.
Okay.
That's just you want to say like inuni makemasu ka?
Is that what would that be?
Like lose to the dog question.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is it without the question? Like what is it? Inuni makamasen.
Inuni makamasen is I won't lose to the dog.
So it wouldn't be like I won't lose to the dog? Like you couldn't do that?
I don't think you can just do that. I think you have to have a question marker.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really make sense in English to say that.
Yeah, no.
Will you lose to the dog?
No, I will not lose to the dog.
He insists.
I am no dog fucker.
He insists emphatically. More Wonko. I'm just skipping the one. I mean, we got enough.
Will you Wonko my Monko? No, I will not. Okay.
Like literally the rest of the questions.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just get the Wonko Monko ones out of the way first.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Right? Like, okay, Wonko Monko movie, who would be cast as each character in the story?
Okay, for the guy.
I mean, the characters are the dog.
The dog is played by Alec Baldwin. No, the dog is a woman. The
dog
is played by... Yeah, but there's got to be like a voice actress or something. So like Sydney Sweeney plays the dog with the beautiful vagina. And then Timothée Chalamet plays the dog with the beautiful penis.
Okay.
And then
the voice.
So
like they're beautiful, but it's just their voices.
Timothy Chalamet is the stunt cock for the dog with the beautiful penis.
No, I don't. Okay, go on.
And then Alec Baldwin plays the main character.
Okay.
Yep.
He's kind of old.
Okay.
It seems a little young. Like I feel like the characters seem young to me.
Okay. I don't really know anything. I don't know any actors or anything.
I feel like it has to be like a bumbling idiot sort of vibe for the man.
Mr. Bean plays the...
Also too old. Like these guys are all freaking old as hell.
Well, why don't you come up with a suggestion?
Yeah, I'm not... I think I can picture the archetype. Like it has to be like a bumbling man, and then it has to be like
Sheldon?
No, it's like...
Young Sheldon? Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking plays the main character. No, it has to... Like, I'm trying to think of like... I'm really trying to rack my brain here. Like the guy from Saltburn, Barry Keoghan.
No idea.
Like he could play it.
Okay. Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber's a little too ran through, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. He would
like it needs to be like a fresh face, sort of like new to the world, kind of like and confused by his urges
and introducing style of credit.
Yeah. So like, right. I think like, casting is up for interpretation, but it has to be kind of like a fresh faced, like bumbling sort of like, and then I think the girlfriend has to be like a little too pretty for him, you know? Like it's you don't want to fumble the girlfriend. Like it's like the
Zendaya, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like that kind of vibe, that kind of archetype, where it's like, she's nice. Like like it's a good girlfriend to have. Like don't fuck it up.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. Like submit who you think would be good because that's kind of what I envision.
Yep.
More Monko. Do you walk the dog or does the dog walk you?
Neither. I do not have a dog. I have never
do not
had
want
a
a
dog.
dog.
I do not want a dog. I don't go to the dog pound.
Why the F do you love dog pussy so much, Monko?
I don't love dog pussy. I do not. I don't. I have a feeling about dog pussy. If anything, my feeling about dog pussy is negative, but not from personal experience.
Do you think Satoshi was also a Monko lover?
No. Satoshi was a normal guy, just having fun on a computer.
You don't know that. You don't know what people's urges are.
Yeah, but Satoshi, I don't think he had. I think he was very normal. I think he.
But furries are normal.
He probably only watched softcore pornography. That was very wholesome.
You don't know that.
Oh,
Okay, so I think we got through the Monko. Nina OK 1280 asks, can you please ask him if he anticipates any changes to Bitcoin, such as a soft/hard fork that can impact the Runes ecosystem in a negative or positive way?
I don't think. I think any beneficial hard fork to Bitcoin provides useful functionality that could be used for runes and inscriptions.
Give an example.
Oh, I don't know, like vaults. If you had vaults,
vaults is what, OpsCTV?
No, well, there are vault proposals that use OpsCTV, but it's any proposal that provides you with a sort of reactive security model where you have your coins in cold storage, and then if somebody gets those keys that are holding those coins, they can move them, but they move them into this kind of holding area where they can then be clawed back by another set of keys that you keep like very offline.
So just increasing like security, basically. Increasing security,
yeah. And then any crazy schemes that you can do with like OpsCTV or OpCat, you can then use those with, runes. So you could create like some crazy OpCat based L2, and then you could put runes on that L2. So kind of anything that benefits Bitcoin benefits runes. And
is there anything that would be negative?
I mean, yeah, they could do. You could do hard forks to make make it impossible to do runes and runes and inscriptions. Like you could make restrictive SegWit witness size limits. You could disable op returns entirely. But I don't think any of those are realistically anticipated, and they wouldn't have a chance of passing.
If that happened, the inscriptions and runes that already exist would still exist, right?
There are even hard forks that could make it very hard to transfer inscriptions. You could make a hard fork that required that the inputs and outputs of a transaction be in sorted order by their IDs. And so then you could not manipulate the order of inputs and the order of outputs in a transaction, which would make transacting with inscriptions much more cumbersome. So that's one option.
But they exist on the digital megalith forever.
Yes, but I mean, and again, these things are
not happening. But I'm just speculating out.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah,
there's nothing anyone can do.
Yeah, those filter people, like, please, ocean mining, please just run the most profitable mining pool you can so that you can compete with the other mining pools and make Bitcoin more decentralized. The stupid filter game you're playing, it's stupid. It's just embarrassing. It's not going to work.
You just have to let people do what they want to do, though. You know, like,
I mean, but
people do stupid things for so many stupid reasons. It's like whatever,
including runes and inscriptions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got through all the questions. What else do you want to talk about?
I think that's it.
I'm not exactly sure when this is going to be posted.
Yep.
We have a couple episodes kind of like
in the pipeline.
Yeah. Professional podcasters.
That's right.
Extremely organized, incredible. I mean, it's high production value.
That's right.
I'll say that.
High production value. I tried to put in the blue contacts to give me the spice eyes, but I failed. I've never worn contacts. I couldn't get my eyes to stay open.
You can't.
It was like
I don't think you can go from no contacts to like these. These are like the hardest contacts to put in because they're giant and they're like very hard.
Yeah.
Like I think if you just had normal contacts, you probably after like 15 to 20 minutes of fumbling around with it could get them in.
Yeah.
These are pro.
Are contacts worth it? Like, are glasses really that annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
What don't you like about wearing glasses?
I mean, it's just like something on your face at all times.
Okay.
Like it's,
Fair.
yeah. I mean, it's also like, I mean, imagine like working out in glasses. I mean, obviously people do it, but just for me, I also like, I think it kind of depends on like your face shape. Like some people's like noses and ears like keep glasses on easier. Like for me, glasses just slide off unless they're really tight here. And then that like causes headaches and stuff. So I feel like it's all just dependent on whatever.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get LASIK at some point, but I've heard too many horror stories.
Same.
So I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah. I'd recommend against it.
But I'm literally blind.
Yeah. Really?
I mean, not literally blind, but like your face would be slightly blurry.
Okay.
So it's like, that's kind of I feel like in a doomsday scenario. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like in a doomsday scenario, it would be pretty bad if I like lost my glasses. Like it's like a Velma situation. If I lost my glasses, it'd be bad.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I'm riding out the contact situation. It's fine.
Yep. All right. Well, on that riveting
On
note,
that incredible insight about runes, wrapping it up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your questions.
Thanks for everyone for joining us. Sign up to the Hell Money Podcast Patreon
for more incredible content like this. Although you get it for free.
You get it all.
You get it for free regardless. I hope.
But a big thank you to our supporters on Patreon.
Yeah, truly.
It's a big morale boost. Big morale boost.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yep.
I mean, it definitely like we've been able to upgrade our costumes, upgrade our setup. It's been awesome. And thanks to Jason and Lolo.
High quality center camera brought to you by the Patreon supporters.
Excellent editing brought to you by Jason. Costumes brought to you by Lolo.
That's right.
We love the How Many Podcast family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I hope you fucking Wonka Monko heads do something with the. If you don't make a fucking.
the dog, okay? Do not fuck the dog.
Don't fuck the dog, but like. If you are a furry, it's okay.
You can't conflate those two things. That's very offensive to the furry community.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean any offense. I really like love and support.
Yeah, she loves and supports everybody.
Yeah. Everybody.
The LGBTQIFDF community.
Yeah. Where's that?
No, not
Rune?
DF.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, not DF. Thanks everyone.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.